Welcome to our exploration of what does the Bible say about the Book of Enoch? This is a fascinating topic that touches on ancient texts, biblical canon, and spiritual mysteries. Let's dive in and unpack this intriguing subject. The Book of Enoch is an ancient Jewish religious work, traditionally ascribed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah. It's not part of the standard biblical canon for most Christian denominations or Jewish traditions, but it has captured the imagination of many believers and scholars throughout history. First, let's address the elephant in the room. The Book of Enoch isn't actually in the Bible, at least not in most versions you'll find. It's considered part of the Apocrypha, books that are attributed to important biblical figures but aren't included in the canon. However, that doesn't mean it's completely disconnected from Scripture. In fact, there's a direct reference to Enoch in the Bible. In the book of Genesis, we find this intriguing passage. Enoch walked faithfully with God, then he was no more, because God took him away. Genesis 5:24. This brief mention has sparked centuries of curiosity about Enoch and his relationship with God. The Book of Enoch expands on this, describing Enoch's heavenly journeys and divine revelations. But here's where it gets really interesting. The New Testament actually quotes from the Book of Enoch. In the book of Jude, we find this passage. Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about them. See, the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to judge everyone, and to convict all of them of all the ungodly acts they have committed in their ungodliness, and of all the defiant words ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Jude 1:14-15. This quotation comes directly from the Book of Enoch, 1 Enoch 1:9, suggesting that the early Christian community was familiar with this text and considered it valuable, maybe even on par with Scripture. So what are we to make of this? The Bible doesn't explicitly endorse or reject the Book of Enoch. Its inclusion of a quote from Enoch doesn't necessarily mean the entire book is considered inspired or authoritative. Even Paul quoted Greek poets in his speeches without elevating their works to scriptural status. The Message paraphrase puts an interesting spin on the Genesis passage about Enoch. Enoch walked steadily with God, and then one day he was simply gone. God took him. Genesis 5:24. This translation emphasizes the consistent day-by-day nature of Enoch's relationship with God. It's a powerful reminder that our spiritual journey isn't just about big moments, but about walking steadily with God every day. Now, while the Book of Enoch isn't in the Bible, its themes resonate with many biblical concepts. It talks about fallen angels, the coming judgment, and the Messiah, all topics that feature prominently in both the Old and New Testaments. For instance, the idea of fallen angels echoes the cryptic passage in Genesis 6. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. Genesis 6:4. The Book of Enoch expands on this, describing a rebellion of angels who taught humans forbidden knowledge and whose offspring were giants. Another major theme in the Book of Enoch is apocalyptic visions of judgment and the coming Messiah. These align with many passages in Daniel, Ezekiel, and Revelation. For example, in my vision at night I looked, and there before me was one like a son of man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence. He was given authority, glory, and sovereign power. All nations and peoples of every language worshipped him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that will not pass away, and his kingdom is one that will never be destroyed. Daniel 7:13. This vision of the Son of Man coming in glory parallels themes found in the Book of Enoch, as well as Jesus' own words about his second coming. So, what's the takeaway here? While the Bible doesn't explicitly endorse the Book of Enoch as scripture, it does acknowledge Enoch as a man who walked closely with God. The book named after him, while not considered canonical, has clearly influenced some biblical writers and early Christian thought. As we wrestle with texts like the Book of Enoch, it's important to remember that our faith isn't based on hidden knowledge or secret books. The core of our belief is found in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, clearly presented in the Gospels and explained in the epistles. The American Standard Version translates Hebrews 11, 5 and 6 beautifully. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and he was not found, because God translated him. For he hath had witness borne to him, that before his translation he had been well-pleasing unto God, and without faith it is impossible to be well-pleasing unto him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that seek after him. This passage reminds us that what truly matters is faith, believing in God and seeking after him. Enoch's legacy isn't about the book that bears his name, but about his faithful walk with God. In conclusion, while the Bible doesn't say much directly about the Book of Enoch, it does affirm the faithfulness of Enoch himself. The book named after him, while not scripture, has had a significant influence on Jewish and Christian thought. It serves as a reminder of the rich tapestry of ancient religious literature that surrounds and informs our understanding of the Bible. As we explore these topics, let's keep our focus on walking faithfully with God, just as Enoch did. Whether or not we read extra-biblical texts like the Book of Enoch, our primary goal should be to grow closer to God and to live out our faith in practical, everyday ways. After all, that's the kind of steady, faithful walk that led to Enoch's extraordinary end, being taken directly into God's presence. Share your comments below. And did you catch the Nephilim reference in there? Quite a topic of interest these days. Keep an eye out for our video about that very soon. Till then, be blessed and bless others.